Motrimis mama la capre, motrimis mama la capre.
Previously on
Let's get it on! And plus we can also steal food with Theatitis. So yeah, that's food shortages, and we're not even in winter. Zalmoxis forbids, I guess King Tarbos is trying to turn his horse, and then he hears a booming voice coming from the trees.
No harm should come to any Elvishti before you deal with the Puglia.
We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
And welcome to an exciting new episode of Let's Get It On. And here we are just minding our own business, collecting thieves in the name of Zalmoxis, the one true god, when suddenly the sky darkens because the Apulii have arrived. Clearly Zalmoxis does not favor them, and in fact he has aggressively guided our way to this moment where we are forced to engage them in battle and convince them that the only way is our way. They should listen to only one pope, to Pope Denzebalos, and stop polluting their heresy in Mount Kogainon. And a brief talk about our new and improved Serration formation for the regeneration. Our Marvel line is up front with a very weak spot of Xenos scum in the middle, and there the Xenos scum are actually backed up by our elite fighters, the X-Men, and then our new elitist fighters, not including the Poturatense, the Kerdothracian sellswords. And here we have a unit of Sika. Behind them we have the youth, and in the middle we have our range line with the pebble throwers in the middle. Behind everything is the Poturatense, of course, waiting to pounce. And on the extreme edges we have the king with the princelings, and Kostico with the PEC, the Perendava Equestrian Club. As you can see, we are immediately abandoning our formation. The Poturatense are going to the right because the king is there, and all of the archers are running to the left. Why? Because we have spotted these. Once again we meet our own brethren in battle, and they come shirtless, and we will try to snipe them with as many arrows as we can. We are already engaged on the left flank, but I will do the magic of editing in order to show you what's happening there. And here we are in the left flank. We have Kostico, and in front of him we have the Perendava Equestrian Club, who made quite a name for themselves last fight by engaging most of the enemy cavalry, and this is the enemy deer. No, these are deer, and these are not our dearest enemies. Apparently Sarmisagituza have their own equestrian club, and they sally out to face us, because I didn't even see them. They were hiding in the trees, so that was a bit of a surprise for me. But Kostico is on it, and look at this clash of titans, heavily armored, heavily experienced, heavily paid mercenaries against men with spears on horses. Who will win? Put your bets now. And look, even the Equestrian Club are joining into the fun. And I guess this is one of our classical situations when the best way to differentiate between combatants is by smell. But actually no, the enemy has spears, and we are the ones with the armors and the ones with the Sikas, because we really like Sikas. And one of the major points of contention with our enemies, the Apulii, is that they don't use Sikas, and that's heresy. I think yeah, the enemy cavalry kind of broke here, and I think the Pek are pursuing, or we are just reforming our formation. Let's rejoin the left flank, but this time look at what our infantry does. And here we are on the left flank, the infantry left flank, where we are calmly awaiting the arrival of the Pietroporoses. An interesting tidbit, we are fighting the twin brothers of King Pietroporos and the General Pietroporos. They look the same and have the same name because their parents were cruel. Sadly for us, these trees kind of provide a protection to the evil men of the enemy folksmen, and of course they are charging into our Xenos scum, which was our plan all along, to point and laugh at foreign men dying in the name of our god. And here we are engulfing them. These are the youths, and these are the extreme left of the Malva line. And look, as they are fighting, we are just... oh no, these are the X-Men. They just threw their pilums, and they just look so youthfully and invigorated that I thought they were the youths. But no, I assume the youths will be on the more extreme flank. And here is the lovely moment of impact, where a superior man killing inferior, Xenos scum. But they're hindered by all kind of missile fire. Or no, we will actually not actually shoot at them with our ranged weapons, because they have cover under the trees, hard to hit them. But we will compensate by X-Men and the Celtothracian sellswords. You really need to give this unit a nickname, because they are really good fighters. And this is exactly what I wanted. The enemy general tried to exploit a weakness that he saw. He saw weak men holding weaker shields and broken spears, so they tried to pounce on that weakness and and take advantage of that. But it was a trap all along. Look how easily we managed to break them. This was a major blow to the enemy. Their most elite fighters are out of the equation. And here we are facing some more. I think these are the Moesians, silly Moesians, another heretical Dacian tribe that refuses to follow the divine rule of King Tarbus. But I assume we managed to convince them. So I guess something like Vololo, Vololo, Vololo. Vololo. But maybe a bit more violent. And this, I think, yeah, this is the mighty General Pietroporos, not to be confused with his brother, his twin brother. Oh, this was one of ours. Poor cavalry. Not to be confused with his twin brother, King Pietroporos. And we, of course, are not even engaging him in battle, because that would be somewhat fair. But no, first we break his spine with range fire and pilums, and then we charge with the Pek. The Perendava Equestrian Club will get quite a purse this battle, because each man that they are catching is worth a lot of money, because he is clad in iron, and we don't really have much of that in Dacia. Sadly, we have mostly maize, but sadly we can't wear that into battle. Or maybe the Putratense are wearing that into battle. Who knows? Anyway, let's do the magic of editing and join the right flank, even though we kind of see that we won this. And here we are at the right flank. And how do we know this is the right flank? Because King Tarbus, the first to his name, King of the Gatea and the first man, the Goat Father himself, is here, and he is always right. Just ask Zalmoxis, our one and true god. And it seems that Zalmoxis keeps favoring King Tarbus because the enemy has concentrated most of his elite troops, the Forksmen and the General Pietroporos, on the left flank. So we were left with lesser men to fight. Here we of course are dealing with the enemy cavalry. They of course had two units of cavalry, and they wisely put them on the extreme flanks. But we are much better than them, both numerically and in all aspects. This was more of a very suicidal charge into two units of cavalry, one of them being the Royal Guards of King Tarbus. Let's have an eye on the infantry. This is the extreme left of the Malva line, beginning to engage the enemy. And the Sikas will come to help, or maybe not. Because here we have our Puturatenses. So very interesting. Our elite warriors were mostly on the left flank, on the right flank, sorry, with the king. Yet the Sikas are coming to help, while this unit of wow, these were really brave, holding 3 units of enemies in place just for our king to have fun, and for us to finish this unit of enemy heretics. And of course they broke very quickly, because we Sikas, spears and youths just made short work of them. But the retreat, the path they chosen to retreat kind of messed with our own Putulatense charge and youth, and this is just a mess. Oddly enough, I'm pulling men out of combat because there's just a critical mass of bodies here, and no one can get anywhere. Just look, they're all pushing each other. The Putulatense are just eager to get into battle, and it's just a crazy hug box. And of course, as soon as the Putulatense and the youths and whatever, that critical mass of people just did manage to get into the flank of the enemy, and then we just broke. Now I think it's a scramble to get as many captives or kill as many people as we can. And just look at this our glorious work in the name of Zalmoxis. He clearly has guided our path correctly. I don't think we even took many casualties amongst the Xenos scum, and that's their job to die in the name of Zalmoxis, to repent for them not being Dacians, because after they die they will reincarnate as true Dacians. So that's the greatest honor a foreigner can have, is to die on the field of battle for Zalmoxis. And we are back to that time of the battle when we mocked General Pietroporos, and I think even the king was here somewhere. He just showed up and ran away. I don't even know, because he did show up somewhere, King Pietroporos. Maybe he didn't. Maybe it was all a dream. In this episode, King Dotos has a golden opportunity to put an end to the Skordisiai threat. No, that was the dream. This is reality, or is it? And of course, the victory parade, where we celebrate a victory on both King Pietroporos and the General Pietroporos, the evil twin brothers of the Apuliai, who keep Mount Kogainon out of the rightful hands of Pope Denzibalus. And look, even the Xenos, no, these are the Thracians, the Celto-Thracian Celsos. They still have their pilums. They didn't have time to throw most of them. They only have 1 or 2 maybe. interesting. And even the, where are the Xenos scum? Oh my god, I can't even differentiate between, oh, here they are. These are the Xenos scum, and even they are accepted into the parade, although in the back lines, because that's where they belong. You're not true men. First you need to die, and only then, through metamorphosis and reincarnation, you become true men. Hooray to our victory! All hail Zalmoxis! And welcome to the most interesting part of these videos, the showing of the numbers. This was one of those slaughters. We only lost 200 men, and we outnumbered and outskilled our enemy. So we can only celebrate who did best. Wow, oddly enough, the Xenos scum killed 150 men. This is a shameful display to men who consider themselves men of Dacia. So I guess the Xenos scum actually proven themselves as a reliable warrior, which is surprising. Their main job is to die. And they only killed slightly less than the Poturatense. The Poturatense were way too eager this fight, and they actually hindered us by clustering all of our men. Other than that, the Celtothracians did all 150 kills, which is impressive, because most of our cavalry did the same. Oh, the king did a slaughtering 236, which is surprising for heavy cavalry, because the youth did 300 and the Pek only 195. The Sikas again redeeming themselves. The combined regiment of the 1st and 2nd Sikas have really stepped up their game, and other than that, not much to mention. A very good fight, and thank you, Zalmoxis!